Hello and welcome to the Disability User Experience. My name is Trish Downing and I'm happy to have you back at my channel, or if you're here for the first time, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Today I want to talk about disability and how it's viewed in our society. And with that, I want to give you some context that will hopefully be helpful in understanding two prominent frameworks and how they affect the way that we understand disability, and also how we can change ourselves to be more accepting, open, and more inclusive. So I hope you find this as eye-opening as I did when I began my journey into disability advocacy. So being someone who acquired my disability later in life, I have the perspective of the way my world looked pre-injury and then how it changed once I acquired my disability, which really began a completely different experience. Because just as suddenly as I became paralyzed and I lost the ability to walk and my subsequent reliance on using a wheelchair for mobility, the opinions and treatment that I experienced in my community around me, whether it was at work or the places where I recreate or my daily tasks, they all really drastically changed. And it gave me this firsthand experience into how people view disability and how we need to get better with both elevating and normalizing disability. In my experience, I found there are so many misconceptions, and these views a lot of times come with the fear of the unknown or lack of exposure to disability, or simply just an uneducated view of what it means to have this unique but very human experience. So I want to talk about the medical and social models of disability because I feel like they shine a light upon our society's default viewpoint when it comes to disability. And when you think about the difference between the two, it gives perspective to so many parts of the disability experience and the beliefs and understanding from a non-disabled point of view. So how did we get here, and what does positive change look like? Let's take a look at a few of the slides that I've prepared. The medical model of disability basically focuses on the individual, and it implies that a disability is a defect, or in other words, that a person with a disability is broken or damaged and should be treated or, if possible, fixed. And it also suggests that people with disabilities should be pitied and felt sorry for, and that they need help because they aren't quote unquote normal, which is actually an abstract concept because there is no true standard for normal. I've chosen the graphic on the right side of this slide, which was created by a friend of mine, because I think it really accurately depicts the medical model by implying that an individual with a disability has to fit into this arbitrary box created by society. It's an expectation of living within a set of four walls and being required to adapt. And in fact, I showed this graphic to another friend who also has a disability, and his sentiment was that it actually went a step further from being required to adapt to actually having to conform to the non-disabled world. Unfortunately, this model doesn't consider the experience of disability as a natural human condition. And there are so many negative consequences when we subscribe to this model. The effects on the disabled individual range from being a victim of bias to reinforcing myths about disability and withholding opportunities that might help an individual reach their full potential. And it also excludes people with disabilities from employment or taking part in their community. And it sets a really low bar when it comes to the expectations of what a disabled individual is capable of. And then inside of our workplaces, we miss out on opportunities for different and innovative voices and viewpoints, increasing diversity, and even affecting an organization's ability to reach a diverse customer base. After all, in the US, 1 out of 4 people live with one or more disabilities. So what do we do? Instead, we can move toward the social model of disability, which basically states that people with disabilities are disabled more due to the barriers in society than to the condition of their body.
And these barriers can be physical, digital, attitudinal, and more. And it's really about our unwillingness to see disability simply as another version of the human experience. After all, we all have unique qualities, talents, experiences, and abilities to function. Disability is just one of these traits, but it doesn't mean that a disabled individual can't live a productive and fulfilling life. If only we built our environments to be inclusive and welcoming to people, regardless of how they think, move, and experience the world. When I first started studying these models, it took me back to when I was injured and the feelings of insecurity I had and how I felt different. And that difference made me feel less. And as I look back now, I see that I had a view of disability through the lens of the medical model. But over time, my thoughts have shifted, and I know that I have the same talents and abilities that I had before. And with a disability, I just might act on them in different ways. So, as you move forward, I urge you to consider, are you viewing disability from the medical model or the social model? And how can you change your perceptions to be more inclusive, welcome, and even curious about how you and or your organization can begin to make the changes that will allow for a more level playing field and embracing others regardless of the way they might show up and experience the world. Thanks for joining me in the disability user experience. Please remember to like and subscribe for more tips on how to incorporate disability as part of your diversity efforts.